Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have quite the interview coming up. A legend in our valley in so many different ways. He's the former WBA lightweight champion of the world. He is in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. He's been a staple of our community, our region, and certainly the sport of boxing for so long. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the guys I've always wanted to interview, had a chance to meet him on Saturday night. One of my heroes, Ray
Hey,
Boo Boo Mancini. How are you, my friend?
good DJ. Thank you. It's very kind. It's a very nice intro, and that's one of the best intros I've ever had. So I appreciate
Well, you're one of the best to ever do it, Ray.
it. Thank you.
First off,
Thank
thank you so much for being with us on Saturday night. I know the entire place was jamming because you were there. You were in attendance for the slam dunk contest. What was your experience like on Saturday night
you.
around all those basketball players?
First and foremost, I appreciate you inviting me for that. I haven't done anything like that forever, and I think it's important to involved with the community. But stuff like that is a wonderful event, and meet some of these young kids and future stars, because you can see a lot of talent out there that night, and especially in the 3-point contest and stuff. And so I was very excited to be part of it. I only felt bad because I double booked. I had something I had forgotten that I had booked a while ago, and then the guy got reminded of it after I committed to you. So thank you for appreciating get me in and get me out. Um, but the event was a hell of an event. You know what you do. It's a wonderful for the kids. It's wonderful for the community. I enjoyed that tremendously. And like I said, you see a lot of talent, a lot of creativity. You see the kids doing stuff with the slam dunks. But when I see stuff like that, it's that people say, "Oh, it's a great." I see the creativity for future things
Yep.
outside of sports, for creativity for business, creativity for for a career in something, and that's the best thing about sports. You see, because I would say people who have the discipline to train for their sport should have the discipline for their studies in school, for the classroom.
Yeah.
And usually 90% of those who have the discipline for the sports have discipline for school. And then there's those guys who are just going to work, going to school or going to college just to play sports as a direction or as an opportunity for a pro career. That's very that is a minute population, right? Minute specter. So I think that these kids, what they show the creativity in sports, especially in basketball and slam dunk contest, crosses over into life.
Well, I love hearing that, and obviously you've got a lot of background in going from sports to business and so many other things. What kind of advice would you give to the players and the athletes now, especially in this digital age, that they can pretty much take that competitive spirit and drive it into whatever they want?
Yeah, I tell people all the time, like when I've done enough. I've done a couple of commencements, 3 commencements since I come back. Uh, of course, none of them my own high school. I don't know, uh, but I've done a few, and I've done some speaking engagements at high schools. And the one thing I tell them, the universal theme I say: take shots in life. Take shots. Don't live with regret. Take shots. I said you got to take shots. I said I've taken more shots. I said I've missed more than I hit. But I said, but I'm like a 300 hitter in baseball. 3 out of 10 I've hit. But that's a Hall of Fame career in baseball, right? So you take shots in life. You're going to miss more than you hit. But, man, you don't want to live with regret because, whatever it is, whether business opportunity, uh, opportunity for love, opportunity for your talent, take the shot. Go with it. Don't overthink it. Don't. Everyone's always usually our natural instincts are, but the downside. Because more people live with glasses half empty than they live with the glasses half full. I'm the guy who's the glass is half full guy. And like I said, I don't live with regrets because I can say, well, I took the shot. It didn't work out, but I took the shot. I should have done. I did my diligence. Maybe I could have did more diligence, studied up on it. Maybe or maybe not, but I took the shot and gave them my best. And I don't live with regrets. And this is why I live my life And I think this is what people got to do. Or, again, you do your diligence, you study, you find out about whatever it is, business opportunity, uh, entertainment opportunity, sports opportunity. You do your business, you do your diligence, and then you make the best decision with the information you got, and you live with the result. You live with the result. And so most of the time, you're going to come out successful.
I love that. We both know that this region, this area, this valley is so incredibly special. And once they put you on their shoulders,
Oh
they
yeah,
never forget about you.
no.
Why is this area? Why is Youngstown, Ohio, so special to you, Boom Boom?
Well, first of all, you have to understand when I turned pro, we were only 2 years removed from the steel mill shutting down. I turned pro in 1979, and uh, of course, you remember 1979, right? Of course.
Of course.
So we were 2 years removed from the steel mill shutting down. The town, we were knocked on our ass. It was hard. There was nothing happening. And I'm not saying it was just happened to be me at that time. It could have been anybody. It could have been, if it was Reverse Kelly at that time or one of the other fighters. But it just happened to be me. And the town needed something to hold on to. I was that guy. Plus, my style of fighting was very reminiscent of the city itself. Come forward, take our shots, keep moving forward, but you're going to take more shots than I take. And at the end of the day, I'm going to be standing with my hand raised. That was my attitude. That was the attitude of the city. And since that time, like I said, we've never fully recovered from the steel mill shutting down. But little by little, we've progressed and we've evolved, and now the city is thriving. And we are a think tank now. We have one of the largest think tanks in the country in downtown Youngstown. Our YSU is one of the best medical schools anywhere in the world. They come from all over the world to go to our medical school. They come, for our business school. So I think that we've now become a college town, which is wonderful. And business, like I said, is evolving. So a lot of these kids that were once had to leave to make a living or to pursue their dreams, stay home. And one of the reasons I came home now, I came back 10 years ago, was to create the film industry here. They've done movies here, and but what I'm saying, on a consistent basis, I'm talking making it a part of our culture now, to make it a business. Let Youngstown become a production destination for companies. And this is what it's been 10 years, and people say, why haven't you done anything? I always tell, because it's called show business for a reason. Business comes long before the show. You got to take care of the business side of it. And that's what I've done. And one of the things I've done, I kind of went the back door. I have worldwide distribution in place for my projects. So when I make a project, it's going to be seen. A theatrical release, a streaming release, but it's going to be seen, and I can tell you where it's going to be seen. There's movies being made here, which is a wonderful thing for the local talent. But when you say, where's it going to be seen, they can't answer you. Yeah. Because the business of, entertainment business has kind of stagnated, where you make a movie and you try to go to the film festival, or you could try to make a movie, and now you got these other platforms, but they're second and third tier platforms, and it gets lost in the shuffle. I went down the back door, so I could actually tell people, when I'm making a movie, with my project or TV series, here's what the project's going to be seen, and this is when you can watch it. And so this is what I've been doing over the last 10 years. I have a lifestyle company. Like I said, I've taken shots, and I enjoyed it. You got to enjoy the ride. It's all about the journey, man. And so I've enjoyed the ride. And so I have a lifestyle company. I have a bourbon company. I have a cigar company. I have a wine company, and I enjoy those things. Those are pleasures I enjoy in life. And and the entertainment business is my main facility, but also I'm able to make a living by traveling and speaking, make it do signings and commentary for different promoters. So I'm very fortunate.
Oh, I mean, you're a champion businessman as well. Certainly, you've been doing very well for yourself. And Mark Cuban said at one point that business is the ultimate sport. Do you feel like the same adrenaline rush that you had when you got into the ring?
Yeah, I do. You know, when you have opportunity, especially when I produce my, when you get everything comes together and you're able to raise the money and you get a studio or a distributor involved, a company saying yes, we like what you're presenting to us, and you get the actors involved. And so, with the first day on set, it's it's a euphoric feeling because you've done it. It's a creative process that you started from scratch. Was an started with germinated with an idea, and then from that idea you put it. I did the page, and the page the script, and now you got the script, and then you send it to different actors and different people to get their affirmation on it, and then people say, yeah, I want to be involved, and then you got to raise them. It's a whole process. Um, so I do enjoy that. I do enjoy the creative process, and for me, it's like, winning a fight. When you finally get on set, you won. You won. So yeah, it's a rush. A little different, but it's the same feeling of that rush of accomplishing something.
Yeah, that competition, that spirit of sport and
Right.
business, certainly, and you've been killing it, man. If there's championship belts, they'd be all like it is right now, right behind you. All those championship belts, you have businesses one all over the back of your
Yeah.
walls as well.
Um,
One of the
right.
things that we wanted to help you promote was this night with Gianni Russo rather.
Johnny
On
Russo. Yes.
Yeah, talk to me
Carlo
about
from The
that.
Godfather. Everybody remembers The Godfather. Carlo. We know it was you, Carlo. We know it was you. You have to answer for Santino.
I
And
love it.
one of the greatest scenes, I met Gianni Russo in 1982 back in Las Vegas when he had a restaurant, nightclub called State Street. And a friend of mine from Youngstown was a waiter there. And I went to see him, and he introduced me to Gianni. And we've stayed friends for, how many, 40 something years now. And Gianni's, man, he's right out of Central Casting. You can't make him up. You cannot make Gianni Russo up. Believe me, the beautiful part about it, the stories. He's lived a full life from, and he'll talk about that. But what we have on Thursday isn't just talking heads. This isn't going to be me up there interviewing him. I'll introduce him. He has a whole show, but it's film clips, and he talks about it as he's going down his story of, growing up in New York with polio. He had polio as a child, and he was in the infirmary till his 8, 10 years old. And then when he got out, talks about being a shoe shine boy, and on Fifth Avenue in front of the Sheraton Netherland Hotel, which was next to the Waldorf Astoria, and that's where he met Frank Costello.
Wow.
He used to shine his shoes, and after a while, when he became 15, 16, he became a runner, a gopher for Frank Costello to run different errands for him. And then when he became 18 and older, he was doing, flying across the country, delivering messages. Frank Costello is considered the prime minister of the underworld. By all accounts, he's the one. Luckily, Luciano created the commission, but Frank Costello created how the organized crime is now very infiltrated into everyday life, from the political scene to the law enforcement to the everyday businesses, and how he created a legitimized many businesses. The mob had business, the mob had, and legitimized them into everyday life. It's fascinating. It's a fascinating story. It talks about when he met Marilyn Monroe when she was, Norma Jean Baker. He was 16 years old and she was in her 20s, and he started dating her. Now, why not? I did older girls when I was 16, 17. So,
Atta boy, boom, boom.
it's wonderful stories. And then he talks about Frank Sinatra being his singing coach. Not his actual, but he watched him and he learned to sing from watching Frank Sinatra. Now, Marlon Brando was his acting coach on the set of The Godfather. How he got that role on The Godfather, that's the story in itself. And then through the years, stories from the underworld, the entertainment world, to the music world, and then 1988, a very significant event happened at his restaurant that put his life in danger, and he had a confrontation with a gentleman who was hassling some people and causing a ruckus in his restaurant. The guy broke a bottle, sliced the woman, sliced Johnny. And Johnny was carrying a piece, pulled out the gun, shot the guy, killed the guy, and found out the guy was one of the top earners, one of the top henchmen in Pablo Escobar's cartel.
Oh, wow.
So Johnny talks about how he went to John Gotti. He said, John, can you help me out? He said, no, we make too much money with this guy. You got to go down there. You got to go meet with him on your own. And Johnny said he got a one-way ticket because he said, I don't know if I was coming back.
Yeah.
And he tells that story of meeting Pablo Escobar and what come of it. And it's unbelievable. And these are all true stories. That's true stories.
Wow.
These are true. And Johnny is one of the best storytellers there is. So anyhow, I'm telling you, it's a wonderful night. It's not like anything you've seen in the set. It's an interactive story. It's not talking heads, two guys just being one guy interviewing another. I'll introduce them, tell them how we met, and then Johnny, with Johnny, you push play and you let it record until you push off, because he's a dynamic speaker, a dynamic personality, and dynamic entertainer. People will be entertained and they will be filled with knowledge. And we have price tickets are very reasonable, $45 upper tier, $35 lower tier. There's still some VIP tickets for $100. For $100, it's a meet and greet with Johnny, photo opportunities, food, drinks, and you get a copy of his book, Hollywood Godfather. And believe me, the book in itself is one of the best reads you'll ever have. So believe me, it's a night. It's different. It's we want to be outside the box. I started a speaker series last year. I had Michael Francis come. Now we have Johnny, and we want people that are outside the box. We want people that come that you're really never going to get the opportunity to see, a lot of. So this is I hope it's a once in a lifetime for many people to see Johnny Russo here in Youngstown.
It'll be awesome. It's at Dior. Tickets still available, like you said. Doors open at 6:30. Event starts at 7:30. And I thought the coolest thing about it, Boom Boom, was the fact that it all benefits your foundation. Can you give us a little bit about your foundation?
Yeah, I started my foundation, 5-6 years ago, and we started doing things outside the box. I started my foundation because I had done a lot of appearances for other foundations, and I see what they do, and what a wonderful thing it is to do for people, for underprivileged, for those with medical needs and things like that. So I always said I wanted to start one, and when I came back to Youngstown, I said, now's the time. And when people say, what was your mission statement? I said, I want to help those who can't help themselves. Well, they said, well, that's a little too broad. I said, well, we want to help the military, we want to help the first responders, and we want to help the elderly and the children. So we do things for different. So we pick a sector, then we pick an organization within that sector, and we give them money to that. So this one will benefit my foundation. And the good thing about a foundation, we can give to different parts. Parts that will go, again, for the military, for first responders, elderly, and children. We have different organizations that we're involved in, and they each get a piece of the pie. So I'm very proud of that.
You should be. You should be very proud of that. And we thank you so much for, again, stopping out on Saturday.
It was wonderful. You did a wonderful job. I apologize for leaving so early. But DJ, if you don't mind me saying, can I give the people, if you're interested in the night with Johnny Russo, again, tickets still available, very reasonable. Upper tier is 45, lower tier is 35, and then VIP is 100. But that includes food and the book and meet and greet and all that. But if you're interested, go to Dior, DEYOR, PAC, PAC.org. DiorPac.org, or just call down to the Dior box office and get your tickets.
That's awesome. Once again, Gianni Russo, The Godfather Experience, this Thursday. Get your tickets now. DiorPac, as in performingartscenter.org. Ray, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for everything that you've done. You're a legend, and we wish you the best.
My own mind, but thank you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ray Boom Boom Mancini.
Thank you for your time.